I felt that it was you can see watching it build up, and you think it's kind of has the hallmark of a kind of a really great classic kind of Spurs goal. Good space, good run, lots of good bit of time to think about what to do and set it all up, and then of course and see it through. So I think it's kind of it's easy to say. Did I expect to score? Well, okay. In all honesty, maybe not. But I expect to have a good attack on goal and then start to build up the press for a goal. But to have it come that early is obviously welcome.
Yeah. I mean, the goal came, and I think we've scored a few recently from similar positions. We're getting the ball into the box and pulling the ball back, and the defender having to take some kind of evasive action, which invariably is leading into an own goal. Yeah, and Lee, I mean, Mr. Own Goal is featuring really highly on our goal scoring charts at the moment. So
third best, apparently.
Yeah, and that must be symptomatic of the way we're trying to play, because we're obviously trying to score goals in a certain manner. That means that defenders are really having no chance in terms of actually defending and clearing the ball properly.
Yeah, I think that's a positive. I mean, I would actually like to see obviously more goals shared around the team. I think that when that happens, we will really start to, purr if we're talking about cats. Because obviously Zuma knocked one in. But I think, but we do look like that. That those chances, as you say, really aren't accidental. That someone's got to get a tackle on it.
Yeah, we're forcing
it. Half the time, we're forcing it, and half the time they will go in your own net because it's a last ditch type challenge, basically. Isn't it?
Yeah.
So you can't have that many OGs in the space of time that we've had, and it's not it's not actually a tactic that we've been working on. So I think 100%. But I must admit, having watched that game yesterday, I hold my hands up, was wetting the bed a little bit, because I live in West Ham territory here, and the thought of us potentially even drawing to that lot was a nightmare, because they really, really are a hellish bunch to be around when they're gloating. But I could see from the point of view of watching it objectively, we were bossing that game. We could have had 5 easily. Although I know Antonio came close on a couple of occasions, but we really could have run away with it. But that doesn't really enter it when it comes to playing them, because somewhere they find a set of legs and end up trying to getting something out of the game. And that I felt at one point, there was a point in the match around about that sort of 70 minutes mark, I was thinking they're going to nick one here.
Yeah.
Against the run of play, they're going to nick one.
Yeah. In fact, I was just going to say. Sorry, Steve. I was just going to say, actually, Lee, that bit where Antonio in the first half had that shot, just went past the post. Mm-hmm. That was all Kane's fault. He was the one that played that back pass.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So played it without looking, didn't he? Really?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Yeah. So I think we should call him out for his errors. I think as well as his successes.
At him on Twitter, shall we?
I'll do that later. Actually,
it's pretty simple. Like, I think when we're good, and when we're bad. I know it sounds simple, but that's just the way it is. I think when
Ben, that's an absolute fucking pearl. That is, Ben. I mean, when we're good, we're good. When we're shit,
we're medium.
There's no real in between. There's no real in between, though, is there?
No, you're right.
We look really nervous when we look nervous. That's for sure.
Yeah.
100%. For me, there's no real in between. We're either good or we're shit.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Let's jump back from the 70th minute that Lee mentioned back to the 24th minute. So, and interestingly, it was your new favourite player, Lee Bentancur, who gets the ball into Kane. Now, when they did an analysis of this, they spoke about the weight of pass and the accuracy of the pass and the risk. What we've spoken about earlier about that risk versus reward. So he played that ball, just ahead of Rice. So just not enough weight on it, and Rice cuts it out too much
we're in
weight.
trouble. Yeah,
and we could be in trouble. However, Kane pulls it in lovely, does a little pirouette, and then it's the old Kane Son routine.
These are the once they get this down, which we are seeming to do now, because I think we're on a roll, which is we'll maybe come onto this later on, but the international break I think it's come at the wrong time. I think we're just getting onto a roll now. But once we get this rehearsed really well, which is what we talked about before, it's what he does. Most of the time those kind of risky passes will work. But you're quite right. If Declan Rice would have intercepted that, they'll be away. It is risk versus reward, but that yesterday was a great example of why it's worth it, because they are the sort of passes that can completely change a game, and and I think
it's just so good to watch.
That's
what it's all about.
It's exciting. It's exciting. It's what you want.
Yeah, totally right.
Okay, so after that, I thought, and I have to admit that I was kind of watching the game when I shouldn't have been watching the game, but we won't dwell on that. But after that, I thought West Ham sort of came back into the game.
Can we dwell on that? What was that then?
Yeah, let's dwell on that.
Yeah. No, I just said we're not dwelling on that. West Ham dominate. West Ham dominate.
I don't know why you brought it up
a little bit. West Ham dominate. Well, it's to give context about the fact that I may not have got this correct. So West Ham dominated possession after that, and deservedly, I think, got a goal back. It felt like, although saying that, it was kind of our own undoing, because clearly the instruction or the detail from Conte was not to concede a set piece, unless we did it under duress, but not to concede a set piece, because Doherty fucked up. They got a corner, and from the corner they scored. And
no, exactly. It was because where Doherty fucked up was just right near where I am. And
Doherty. Sorry, Doherty.
Yeah, Doherty. I couldn't believe how he just stumbled over the bloody ball. That was ridiculous. So
it's not Doherty, Andy. It's
Doherty.
Doherty.
Doherty. I mean, how does that even develop as a name? Because you can't. It's so hard to say.
I mean, it drives me fucking mad.
I know. That's why we all say Doherty, because it's fucking annoying.
It's not it's not Doherty.
I just say Matt.
It's Doherty.
Yeah, I say Doherty.
I thought it was Irish Cafu.
It's Donkety.
I thought it was just the Irish. You're not still maintaining that, are you, Lee? Fucking hell! God, talk about bear a grudge, son.
My wife done a lot better Irish.
Hang on a second. So hang on.
Pissing me off.
So it really is
pissing me off.
We've dwelled on. We have
Doherty, you swat.
We have dwelled on Doherty. But
no, Doherty.
Well, whatever his fucking name is.
It is Doherty.
Number two.
It's Doherty.
But if you conceded a set piece and you know that we're not that great at defending them, then why would you leave like Ben Rama completely, basically unmarked?
Because that's Sonny. You can't.
That was Sonny. And Son's watching the ball. Son was watching the ball rather than watching the man, really. And
exactly.
Yeah.
And there you go. And he's basically completely on his, completely out there on his own.
Good finish, though. It's a good finish.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
adjusted his feet really quickly and finished it really well. And I mean, he was right to celebrate like it meant something.
Yeah.
Now, at that point, as a Spurs fan, you're thinking, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you, though, Ben? Because I think the thing that I find interesting is that we just seem to, under Conte now, we just seem to continue playing the same way. Just keep playing the same patterns. Play the ball, play it round, play into Bentancur, Højbjerg, pop it back, go out wide, back in, try and go forward, can't go forward, back. And we just keep playing the same patterns over and over and over. And I personally, I think it's really good to watch. I'm really enjoying it now. I think that we have such a measure of control in the game that we haven't had for ages in terms of how we want to try and play. It's fantastic to watch. It's a real. He's done miracles, I think, in this short period of time now that he's got this kind of 11 he wants. And I think, I don't know if it was Jamie or if it was Lee that mentioned it before, but Bentancur and Kulusevski have been instrumental in terms of...
That was me.
Adding the balance.
You could say arguably before, he had the same 11 that Nuno had, and we were still churning out results. He actually did make us play some nice football with the same 11 that Nuno had.
Yeah. No, he did. Yeah, but I think the two that have come in January have really just kind of helped to give us more probability of winning a game and to score goals as well. We look like we're going to score every game.
There can't be many, Steve, players that have come in January and hit the ground running like those two have. That's unusual, surely.
There's been very few for Spurs, isn't there?
Not just saying that, Lee, but when did we ever sign any players, even in August, that came in and hit the ground running? They've been absolutely fucking amazing, haven't they?
Yeah.
Amazing.
January windows are generally weaker than the summer windows, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. So that obviously means we're going to win the league next year, then, aren't we? Because if we
and the World Cup
and the World Cup,
World Cup, yeah. So
but if
let's
West Ham won the World Cup, we're going to win it, aren't we?
Well, yeah. So well, they didn't win. Yeah, so they didn't. They might have won the World Cup. They didn't win their cup final yesterday. So final goal for us came in the 88th minute. I think it came directly after a pause in play. I think I can't remember who was injured. I remember it was Bentancur was injured. Was it?
Yeah.
And then they play the ball back to us, and we just go long, like route one. And Moyes was absolutely fuming. Like under 12 football, he called it. It was fucking brilliant. I thought it was great. You know, we just resumption of play, flick it on, and Sonny just runs onto it and finishes calmly. I mean, if it had been down to me, he wouldn't even be on the pitch.
Alan Smith, the commentator, he struggled a bit, didn't he? Struggled with that a bit.
Yeah, he hates to see a Spurs win, doesn't he? Fucking hates it.
Yeah,
absolutely hates it. But interestingly, we scored 3 goals, and although Kane wasn't on the score sheet, he assisted every goal that we scored. So, I mean, it was a top draw performance from him, along with some other players that were there. We need to talk about a couple of things we need to talk about. Firstly, is Lee's ex-favourite player, who's banished. He's banished him to the bin. Emerson Royale. So he came on. I can't remember how long he came on for. Probably came on in the 88th minute or whenever it was after the goal.
I saw his cameo earlier.
And did you see the video? So he's come on. He's been on for 5 minutes.
Who made that fucking video?
He made the video. He clearly made the video himself. He didn't even have to.
That's my boy.
Have you seen the video, Ben? He's just like his highlights.
It's unreal. Sorry? It's unreal. I mean,
what video? Is there Emerson video? I've just seen the one where he falls on the floor and starts laughing.
No, he's made a highlight reel of his 5 minutes a cameo he had when he came on, and it's just him passing the ball around. Like it's just like I think someone mentioned he didn't even need to edit it. It's just
he shared it on Twitter, but I reckon he made that himself, because no one's putting together a 5 minute, a 2 minute video from a 5 minute appearance on the pitch. It's got to be him who done that himself.
You know that one with those videos that they used to do, and it was with the Snoop Dogg music, and the glasses come down.
Yeah.
I was expecting that to happen at the end of the video.
He did. Did he even include the bit where did he include the bit where he got fouled at the end? I think he did, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, he cut. The only thing he did cut, you could see, he just passed it in the goal area out somewhere, and then cut to him celebrating with Kane like he set that one up or something.
That's right. Yeah. I think he felt he was being a Brazilian, a proper Brazilian.
Fantastic.
He's brought by a different manager, different system, but I still think he's shit. But
yeah, he doesn't.
I won't hear of it.
He's not a very good wing back, is he? That's the problem. So.
I mean, he's clearly loving being at the club and enjoying. And we want to. I've never been his